Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here. We're going to do another Magic Origins draft. Let's see if Battlefield Forge is worth anything real quick. Nope, it's only worth like a ticket, so definitely willing to pass that up. Alright, this, control another elf. I get a 1/1 green elf. Oh, that's pretty good. Probably just taking some removal, right? Whenever a creature dies, scry 1, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Oh, that's kind of a, wow, that's kind of a cool card. I kind of like that, actually. But, pretty sure we're just going to take the Lightning Javelin, right? Deals some damage to anything, and scry is pretty good. Cannot deny that. All right. Follow-up pick. Well, Cruel Revival is good instant speed removal. What's this rare do? Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may pay 1 red. If you do, put a token onto the battlefield. It's a copy of that creature. Wow, that's kind of cool, actually. With any sort of enter the battlefield effect, I could see that being really good, actually. Haste Renown is not bad either. I think the choice for me is really... this guy's good too. That guy is legitimately good, but I think it's between Cruel Revival or Flame Shadow Conjuring. I'm trying to think how good this card is. Copy, put a token on the battlefield, it's a copy of that creature. What I like about it is those guys that enter and give you a token would give you an additional token. Because they're not a token, and they have an enter the battlefield effect. But still, it requires that you have... it's not bad, I admit. I guess I'll try it out. We'll see what we think of it. I think Cruel Revival is very good, though. Mizzium Meddler. When it enters the battlefield, change a target of target spell or ability to him. Well, might as well check if he's worth anything, right? He is worth an entire penny. Not that good. All right. Enthralling Victor. This guy's interesting. Comes in and steals something. I like that. Volcanic Rambler. I actually think this Stalwart Aven is probably pretty good. Malachor Cullblade. I like that guy, actually. What is the best here? I don't know. I could take the Victor. I don't see anything that motivates me to want to be a second color yet. And I think Victor is okay at the very least. Ooh. Well, I like the Abbot. I already got to try him out, and I liked him quite a bit. So I think we're just going to slam that. Otherwise, we've got an Owl in here. I mean, I like being in one color at the moment. That way, once we start seeing what's wheeling, I'll get a better idea of maybe what second color I'm supposed to be in. And at the same time, I'm cutting red pretty hard. So, and we're getting past a pretty good red rare. I mean, I liked this card quite a bit in the last draft, so let's take it. Plus, it's worth like a ticket or two, I think. All right, well, Weight of the Underworld is removal. It's not the best. You have hexproof. If a creature would deal damage to you, prevent 1 of that damage. Might as well check, right? Just in case everybody else missed it. Okay, it's worth 30 cents. Still feels like an actual pretty decent card, to be honest. Not that you have hexproof part, but preventing 1 damage from anything that's dealing damage to you, I mean, that turns off like all little tokens. I actually don't think that card's bad. I just don't feel like this is the right deck for it, per se. Shrouding Mist seems okay, but it's not the protection I'm looking for. I think I'm actually going to take this Ring Warden Owl. I like the Weight of the Underworld, but this Owl is pretty good. All right, Veterans Sidearm. Well, typically equipment is pretty decent. Plus, there's some bonus to having artifacts. In red-blue especially. But I might just want the Calculated Dismissal. There is Fiery Conclusion. Fiery Conclusion might be just something I want. Dealing 5 damage. Basically, you don't want a ton of them. But they're pretty good if I end up with like Dragon Fodder or things that produce tokens or in response to removal. Any of that. And it can be quite good. Otherwise, yeah, Calculated Dismissal did play pretty well for me. But I'm still not necessarily... I mean, there's also Read the Bones, which is very good. I think I'm going to go Fiery Conclusion this time around. At least get 1. All right. Perfect follow-up is Dragon Fodder. Wheeling Celestial Flare. Well, the problem with Celestial Flare is they get to choose which attacker or blocker they're sacrificing, which makes it slightly worse. But this card's actually pretty good too. I think this card's actually really good. It's good with tokens, especially. Some pretty decent green cards. Wheeling. I still feel like I want the Dragon Fodder since it feeds both Spell Mastery and it's good with Prowess and Fiery Conclusion. I think we'll take Artificer's Epiphany. If I don't end up with enough artifacts, I'm not going to want it, though. I don't think it's that good if you don't have enough artifacts to support it, but there's nothing else in here that's nuts. Stratus Walk's okay, I guess, actually. I like the cantripping auras. The problem with this one is it makes them so they can't block as well, which can be a problem. Card's not bad, actually. I think we'll probably take the Water Courser. This card's actually pretty interesting. I feel like that could be really good. Whenever any creature dies, you get to scry too. Water Courser's not like busted, but I do like what it can do in combat, so I think I'll take it. Alright, I mean, we're getting Disperse back. I'm going to take it over the Fire Fiend Elemental. And I'm going to take it over the Veteran Sidearm. I like Disperse quite a bit. This is also a aura kind of centric format, it seems like. Not necessarily centric, but there are a lot of playable auras. So Disperse can be quite good for that. Plus you can bounce Planeswalkers. And it's going to be more difficult for them to get it back. Take this Psychic Rebuttal. I actually think this card is... Oh, it only that targets you. Alright, well, that's not as good, but I would take it for the sideboard maybe. Alright, Rambler is fine. Not a busted card by any stretch, but certainly one I'm willing to try. Alright, I don't like the Bellows Lizard very much. I think we'll take this Vial, since it cantrips, and it's a artifact. Whatever, we'll take Night Snare. Okay, decent start. Kinda, I guess, put myself in the same archetype again, but it just felt like we got a late Disperse, pretty late Ring Warden Owl. Water Courser, like I said, is pretty playable. I mean, it can potentially bash for 4 damage, or trade with a 4 toughness thing. Ooh, we get an Avaricious Dragon. Well, I guess there are some issues with this card, but actually, I gotta look up prices now. Foil Languish might be worth a fortune. Well, I can't pass a Foil Languish. This is worth 10 tickets, so this is like most of the draft right here. Maybe I even like switch into black because of it. I don't know, probably not. I mean, I want Avaricious Dragon, but the thing is, well, it's pretty good. It is pretty good. I can't say otherwise. But I'd still rather have 10 tickets. Plus, like I said, this card's pretty strong. Maybe I just opt into black because of it. It is a pretty good chance you can board wipe with it. It's better when you have the high toughness guys, because then it could be like a one-sided board wipe. Regardless, I'm taking 10 tickets. Ooh, what's this Will Breaker do? Whenever a creature an opponent controls becomes the target of a spell or ability you control, gain control of that creature? Holy crap, this card's sweet. I mean, the problem is I'm trying to think, spell or ability. So it does actually, wow, works well with Alchemist Vial. All right. Yeah, I think we're taking the rare here. I like Separatist Void Mage too. And I like Lightning Javelin. Well, how good is Willbreaker? Currently, it's not insane, but if I can find more ways to get value, it could be insane. It is a 5-mana 2/3. I need to find, the problem is it's almost like a build around. You need quite a few things to really make it work. I'm going to try it though. It seems like it's pretty powerful. More blue rares. Target opponent reveals the top 7 cards of his or her library. Cast an instant or sorcery from among them without paying its mana cost. Then that player puts the rest in their graveyard. If there are 2 more instant, you can cast up to 2. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. There's also Chandra's Fury. Send to Sleep. Ram Roller, which is interesting. Bogart Brute, which I think is good. I mean, Talent of the Telepath can also just straight up miss. But it seems like a fun card to play. I kind of want to try out some of these rares. Sent to Sleep works better with Willbreaker. Yeah, that's pretty insane. All right, we'll take the Send to Sleep. I like the card anyway. Past Pile Driver. You got to be kidding me. Oddly enough, it's only worth 2 tickets, but it's really good. I mean, I guess it's not that good, although we do have some more. I don't have that many. I guess it's not that good in our deck, but it's still worth a couple tickets. Otherwise, what? I take like a Chandra's Fury, which is actually okay, but I'm going to take tickets. Maybe I even get more Dragon Fodders. Plus, it's not like Pro Blue is irrelevant. Cobble Brute's okay. Maybe just another Water Courser. Keep our curve slightly down. I'm okay with that. Renown 2. Jeez. It's pretty good. Nivix Barrier seems playable. And actually pretty good with Willbreaker. Probably more exciting than a second Alchemist Vial. I'll take the Barrier. I like that it's a combat trick that can also steal one of my opponent's creatures. Seems pretty good. Active Treason is a way to permanently steal. This card seems pretty good. Jeez. Probably just take the Fairy. I only have 1, which isn't that great. But if I can get it in multiples, it'll be good. Dragon Fodder number 2 seems good when you got the Pile Driver and the Fiery Conclusion. And Prowess Guys, although we only have a couple of those right now, but Deep Sea Terror is not bad, but we don't have a ton of ways to get cards in the graveyard. I guess Languish is probably not happening. I can... Volcanic Rumbler might just be better. It's like a win condition on its own, which is kind of decent. Oddly enough, it feels like Fairy Miscreant works pretty well with Flame Shadow Conjuring. You know, I've played Meteorite before. I actually like this card. I'm going to take it. Not only does it fix for you, it ramps, and I guess it doesn't ramp well because it costs 5, but the fact that it is removal is pretty good. Plus, it works with Willbreaker. I like all of these cards that work with Willbreaker now. It's pretty cool. I still think Artificer's Epiphany is not good enough to run in this deck. We currently only have just a couple ways to actually interact with it. I'm not even sure we're going to play Pile Driver. Even with 2 fodders, those are really the only goblins I have. And a 2-mana 1/2 is not that great. I am kind of surprised this card's only worth a couple tickets. I mean, it's hilariously enough, it's like a Legacy Goblins staple. This Jailer actually seems pretty good. I could take Rogue's Passage, though. I guess. I might play it. We're not a very color-intensive deck, although I guess with double Water Courser, that's not super realistic. All right, let's just hate the Jailer, which is a playable card. Well, Revenant's scary, and I don't care enough about Bellows Lizard to take it. This card's actually pretty good. Might be better than the Battle Priest. Green card advantage is typically pretty sought after. All right. Smash is good sideboard material. All right. So, I mean, we're looking good. We almost have a deck already, and we've got an entire pack to go through. Currently, I'm on the fence about running Goblin Pile Driver and Artificer's Epiphany. Oh, another. Geez. Let me look at prices on these. Add red to your mana pool. When that mana is spent to cast a red, instant copy that spell. Jeez. Let me look at this. All right. Well, the goggles are worth like 4 tickets, so pretty much got to slam that. Otherwise, I think Claustrophobia would be a pretty easy pick. Anchor to the Ether is pretty good too. I think Claustrophobia might just be better since it's like a hard answer. Subterranean Scout's another goblin for Pile Driver, but maybe we table it. I don't know. I don't think Goggles is that great in this deck. I guess it's okay. It's pretty pricey, but it lets me copy what? See, the problem is it only lets me copy Fiery Conclusion. Well, I guess it does let me copy Dragon Fodder. Maybe. I don't think it's going to happen. I would need quite a few dudes to really want that. Let's make sure that's not worth anything. All right, Herald's only worth like a ticket, so I can pass on that. Which is battlefield creatures without flying can't block. Well, it's a 5 mana 4/4, which is not bad. Fiery Impulse I probably just want. It's removal. It's good removal. Works well with Goggles. It works well with Willbreaker. Not much else to say there. Let's go for it. I think Epiphany's just about ready to get cut here. Another Fiery Impulse? No, don't mind if I do. I like it. And Epiphany will get the boot. Take some more good, cheap removal. Well, how many cards do we have that actually work with Goggles now? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Only 6. I would say I would need minimum 9 before I would consider Goggles. Otherwise, you're paying way too much for a mana rock. Like, straight up Meteorite is better in our deck right now than Goggles. Because I would rather just have something that can fix me for blue as well as nuke something right away, rather than something that only fixes me for red and doesn't even work unless I've got some other spell. Jeez, Fiery Impulse for days, huh? I'm going to keep taking them if they keep getting passed. Granted, you can only target creatures with it, but they are pretty good. It's getting us closer to this Goggles becoming playable. Maybe we just cut the Vial at this point. I don't have, especially now that I'm not running the Artificer's Epiphany. Pile Driver, admittedly, is still not that great in this deck, but he might get cut too, you never know. Although I'm a little bit creature light at the moment. 13 including double Dragon Fodder, which is not a ton. For that reason, Flame Shadow Conjuring's not looking that good either. It's kind of interesting with Willbreaker. If you go like, it would require too much mana, but it's cool. I think I would rather have the Gearcrafter than the Aeronaut. The Aeronaut flies, though. But Gearcrafter's cheaper. I think I'm going to opt for the cheaper rather than the flyer. They're both good. Goblin Glory Chaser. Wow. I mean, that might be enough incentive to keep the pile driver around, honestly. Let's cut the Miscreant then. One, two, three, four. I'm only up to 7 for goggles. Well, admittedly, we're getting there, but I almost think the Conjuring's not going to be good enough now. Might want to just cut the Conjuring. Infinite Obliteration. I mean, let's see if it's worth anything, as per usual. It's worth 30 cents, so I think we're going to take Bone to Ash and not main deck it. It'll be a sideboard option against Bomb 7 drops. Well, here's a second Fairy Miscreant. I might just want Chandra's Fury. That's going to be insane with the goggles. I could play 2 Fairy Miscreants, but they're not that good anyway. I think Conjuring's going to actually just get the boot. I could play Titan Strength. It's a pretty legitimate combat trick. I'm going to take the Fury, though. I've got a decent feeling about it. It's also good against us here. Subterranean Scout came back. He seems actually perfectly fine. What I like most about him is how well he works with Pile Driver. Gives us a decent little mini goblin theme. Not an insane one, though. Otherwise, Act of Treason, but no, I guess we'll take the Scout. I think the Zendikar's Royal card is actually pretty good. We already have a Psychic Rebuttal. I doubt I need a second one. Alright, we'll take the Act of Treason. We already have to make some cuts. I could take Screeching Scab. It's not that insane. Kind of feeds Spell Mastery, but we only... I guess we have a couple. We don't have a ton. Maybe I just want another Smash. I guess I'll take the Scab. Maybe. I doubt I play it. Neither of these cards are all that good. I guess we'll take that. Sure. Alright. I mean, we have a cool deck, and we ended up getting some good value cards, too. Like the 10-ticket Foil Languish and the 4-ticket Pyromancer's Goggles. So this draft is as good as paid for, which is really nice. Yeah, actually, we ended up ahead with the Pile Driver. So already doing good on that front. This draft is straight up free. We do need to make some cuts. It's pretty ridiculous, actually, that I've managed to make these pre-release drafts free because they're typically pretty expensive, to be honest. I think we probably cut the Nivix Barrier. I want to keep the Victor, though. Maybe I do play the goggles. I think I have 8 now. 1, 2, 3. Remember, it only works with red instants and sorcery. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The nice thing about Fiery Conclusion is you don't have to sacrifice another creature. You just copy it, and then it deals another 5 damage, which is pretty cool. So that's 6, 7, 8. That's probably the bare minimum that I would do it with. So I don't know if I want to keep both, though. Basically, the question is, do I want to do Goggles for 8 spells or Meteorite for some blue fixing as well as immediate damage to something? That also works pretty well with Willbreaker, but it's not like Goggles doesn't. With Goggles, when Willbreaker out and I cast a Fiery Impulse, I just steal 2 guys, which is pretty insane, actually. I don't think I want to cut any more creatures. I'm pretty comfortable running 17 lands as well. We have a decent amount of goblins. Admittedly, we don't have that much, which makes Pile Driver not that exciting, but Pro Blue is at least can be good defensively. Do have 2 Fairy Miss? No, I didn't grab the second one, but we weren't going to play him anyway, so I guess it doesn't matter. We're not super color intensive in red, so I think we're going to be more evenly split with blue than you would think, because I really do want to make sure I can get some good value out of these water coursers. They're typically pretty nice. The flexibility is nice. Maybe I do cut Meteorite. It feels wrong to run double 5 mana rock. And I kind of like having double Rambler, although 6 mana 6/4 is not bad. The ability is relevant. But 2 5 mana 5 mana rocks is not great. I think we're going to cut Meteorite. Let's opt for the more exciting goggles. Okay, I like this deck. This deck looks fun. We've got 14 creatures, which is not a ton, but triple Fiery Impulse, Fiery Conclusion, Javelin, Chandra's Fury. It's decent removal. No hard removal, but yeah, I mean, this deck looks okay. Enthralling Victor is not terribly exciting. It might come up good for us, though. Yeah, I mean, I like this. Let's do a pretty even split with mana, I think, despite having clearly way more red. Like I said, we're not that red color intensive, so I think we can actually do 9/8 pretty comfortably. I mean, I actually need double blue for Ring Warden Owl and Willbreaker. And Water Coursers, like I said, really want you to have more blue too. I only need 1 red to function. Not that I don't want more than 1 red, but we also have the goggles, I guess, is another way to get red. I think I'm going to do 9/8. I like this deck. I think it looks pretty good. I wish Flame Shadow Conjuring was good enough to run in here, but I'm unconvinced. I think we don't have enough. We only have like the Ramblers that are really good with it. Other than that, I'm copying like 2 3s and stuff. It's just not worth it. And we're 2 creature light, I think, to get value out of it. Okay, here's the deck. Running it like this. We'll see you round 1.